Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Voices of British Orthodoxy. I am, of course, Rita Laza. I hope you've all had a very wonderful day. Today is the 5th of July, as according to the old calendar, and we've got a lot of saints. Before we do go into it, actually, no, we'll read the saints first. I think there's like 5 in the book, and then there's like, 6 or 7 entries in the group chat, so this could be pretty long. Right, so our first saint of the day is Adana, also known as Etwine. Date is uncertain. And, so her date is uncertain. Anyway, Saint Adana was an Irish monastic who received tonsure from Saint Patrick, 17th, who we commemorated back on the 17th of March. Feel free to go back and listen to that video to hear his life once you're done with this. The patron of several parishes in the west of Ireland. She lived for some time at the junction of the rivers Shannon and Boyle. Saint Adana later travelled to Scotland, where she founded a convent. There's a tradition that the city of Edinburgh in Scotland is named for her. Dún Adana, meaning Adana's castle or Adana's fortress. She is also thought by some to be the same saint as Saint Madwena of Whitby, though there is no documentation to support either of these assertions. Her group chat entry just simply says Saint Adana, followed by the Etaoin, name in brackets, patron of parishes in the west of Ireland. A famous holy well bears her name. 6th century, Edinburgh is named after her. Next entry is for Saint Urfil, and her date is also unknown. A Welsh holy virgin, St. Urfil founded and is the titular saint of a church at Llynfell, Powys, Wales. According to local tradition, she is buried beneath an inscribed stone in the churchyard, and her holy well once stood nearby. The group chat entry says St. Urfil, a virgin, the church of Llynfell in Powys, in Wales, is named after her. Our next saint of the day is Saint Madwena, and she is from the 7th century. There is also a second Saint Madwena in the group chat, so I've got to make sure. Okay, so this one, she is the successor of Saint Hilda, who we will commemorate on the 17th of November, as Abbess of Whitby. Other details of her life are hopelessly intertwined with those of Saint Madwena of Polesworth, and in the menologies with those of Saint Adana, who we just covered. The group chat entry just simply says, Saint Madwena, successor of Saint Hilda as Abbess of Whitby in England, C695. Our next entry, her name is also Saint Madwena, she is also from the 7th century. This Saint Madwena is believed to have been an anchoress and later abbess of Polesworth in Warwickshire, England. Her life is hopelessly intertwined with that of Saint Madwena of Whitby, and in some menologies with that of Saint Adana, both of which we've already covered, and her group chat entry is just one sentence simply saying Saint Morwenna, patroness of Morwenstow, England, 6th century. Forgive me, that's actually that's the extra one. Okay, so Saint Madwena, an anchoress and later abbess of Polesworth in Warwickshire in England. Our next entry covers Saints Probus and Grace, and their dates is unknown. Saint Probus and Grace are Cornish saints traditionally thought to have been husband and wife. The village of Probus in Cornwall takes its name from Saint Probus, and its church, Saint Probus and Saint Grace, is dedicated to both of them. The group chat entry is Saint Probus and Saint Grace are a pair of saints traditionally believed to have been husband and wife, and they are the patron saints of the village of Probus in Cornwall, England. The village church, Saint Probus and Saint Grace, is dedicated to them. According to local tradition, Saint Probus built the church, and Saint Grace, a wealthy lady, helped him build a tower, which became a significant feature of the church. So, as you probably guessed, there is a second Saint Morwenna. Well, there is a similar name saint called Saint Morwenna, who is patroness of Morwenstow in England, and she is from the 6th century. She does not come up in the book, though. And then there is one final entry. Saints Fragan and Gwent Terbon (Blanche) of Brittany (5th century) left Britain to evangelize Amorica in Brittany. So there've been 7 entries today, and we still have one. So I'm not going to read Saint Elizabeth the New Martyr's date, but I do want to, I guess, while I get thingy up, just briefly mention that, yeah, as she is, I think, if I remember correctly, she was a granddaughter of Queen Victoria and a sister of St. Alexandra the Tsarina and Passion Bearer. So being a granddaughter of Queen Victoria, technically St. Elizabeth the New Martyr is technically a British saint. Again, I'm not going to cover her because I don't, because it's like, I can actually see the other side, which would probably deny that she is one of our saints. Well, one of our saints is in British. Obviously, she's an Orthodox saint, because today is her feast day. And as a matter of fact, earlier today, we prayed her Akafist in St. Lazarus, which was beautiful. Anyway, let's bring this back up. So, yeah, St. Elizabeth the New Martyr is also commemorated today. Depending on who you ask, she is technically a British saint. If you've made it this far, leave a comment down below as to whether you actually consider her a British saint or not, given that she is technically, well, she is a granddaughter of Queen Victoria. Anyway, for whatever reason, this hasn't actually opened properly. Okay, this is... I'm gonna okay, never mind. That's fine. You can all see it pretty clearly, right? Right, so 26th of July, which is 1 week tomorrow, we are doing our pilgrimage / day of celebration of St. Kenelm of Mercia. He was a child prince, and he was martyred. Divine Liturgy will be 9 a.m. at St. Lazar's, and then we will be heading to the well in Winchcombe. The address can be... Yeah, I don't know what happened that made it so that this doesn't want to work, but yeah, this is the address for anybody that wants to meet us at the thingy. Yeah, so Divine Liturgy will be great. Yeah, feel free to come, or don't, and if you can come, that would be great. Even if you only come to one of the things, it'd be great to see you all. Anyway, I've took up almost 8 minutes of your time, so I'm gonna end this here. God bless you all, and amen.